Welcome to ORPtv. I'm Craig Stagner coming to you on this Sunday, May 12th from the Rad Auto Lift Studio in Nixon, Missouri. It is Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. We just couldn't do it without you. We might show up to the tracks with our cars, motorcycles, bicycles. We'd have our race transportation, but you would have probably forgot your shirt, your uniform, your shoes. Something would have gotten forgotten. You had your lunch packed. Thanks to the moms who made sure that we looked good and were well fed at all the races. So happy Mother's Day to you all. This weekend's not been unlike some of the other weekends that we've had so far this year. Just rain playing havoc on the tracks everywhere, but we were able to get some racing in. Friday, luckily for Lebanon Midway, they have Friday night events because Friday was absolutely perfect for racing. It was a beautiful day. Lebanon Speedway, the USRA B mods, Tyler Knudsen with a win. Street Stocks, Joe Francis. Midwest mods, Trent Wynn. Pure Stocks, Mike Piercy. Hornets, Jeff Helton. And the Kid Cruisers, Dalton Roberts. You can find the full results at our ORPtv page. Just scroll down and look for the Lebanon Midway Speedway logo, and you'll find all the results there. Moving over to Springfield Raceway, a little iffier on the races on Saturday, and actually only two of the local tracks were even able to get racing in. The list of rainouts was pretty much all-inclusive. Everyone except for Springfield Raceway and Lucas Oil Speedway, that we'll be talking about coming up, had to cancel due to the rain. But Springfield Raceway was able to just get in a wet, sloppy track, as I read. But the USRA B mods, Dalton Keith from Lebanon, Missouri with a win. IMCA A mods, some young fella named Ken Schrader came down and took the win there. Ken Schrader, 63 years old, from Fenton, Missouri. Now I was looking up some of the information about Schrader, just finding out for sure how old Ken was. And I thought it was interesting to note that Ken Schrader has been racing NASCAR for 29 years. And of the top three tier racing, he has 984 career starts on the three platforms. He's also a first cousin once removed to Carl Edwards. And this was really interesting. I didn't know this. Daytona 500 pole position 3 years in a row at one point, in 1988, 89 to 90. So Ken Schrader, with a storied career, one of the all-time greats, still comes down to Springfield Raceway and takes the win in the A-mod. So congratulations to Ken. Pure Stock, another win for James Reedus from Springfield. The Midwest Mod A-Class, Rob Muhlenberg from Sparta with the win. The Midwest Mod B-Class, Rick Lampy from Fair Grove. Legends, Mike Hellman. And then the mini late models, Wyatt Sofa from Ketchum, Oklahoma with a win. The late model class is dominated by the Sofa family. You had Wyatt first, Mike second, Angela sixth, and Scott eighth. Four of the top eight are the Sofa family, so half the class. If they have like a birthday in the family or something come up, or a wedding, that class is wide open for somebody else, because just that is half the class right there, the Sofas. So awesome job by them. Over at Lucas Oil Speedway, was able to get in the racing, had a huge car count, 112 cars at Lucas Oil. Street Stocks, Aaron Poe from Knob Nostra with the win. The ULMA late models, Keaton Cornell with a win from Willard. There was some sort of disqualification on that feature, which enabled Cornell to take the win. Don't know quite what that was about. But USRA, the mods A-Class, Tyler Wolf from Fayetteville, Arkansas with a win. And the USRA B mods, or USRA mods B-Class rather, Nick Budinger from Perry, Kansas with a win. The B mod class was just about to start and due to rain, they had to postpone that. So what they will do next weekend, they will double up that class. They'll run what would have been this week's feature will be run next week. I know that Ryan Gilmore from Springfield was there and was running quite well, and so he's going to have to go back next week to race this week's feature. So Lucas Oil Speedway next week will be have an extra race in it. Over on the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series last night, Kansas Motor Speedway, the Saturday night race. Brad Keselowski with a late race pass for the win pushes Alex Bowman back to second place. This is the third week in a row that Alex Bowman has finished second. So very consistent. Seemed like a nice young man in the post-race interview. Seemed like a good kid. Young, gonna have a long career, and obviously doing quite well here lately with 3 consecutive seconds. Eric Jones was third, Chase Elliott fourth, and Clint Boyer fifth. The story there was Eric Jones got a little out of the groove at one point, had to check up and slow down. Clint Boyer was coming on very fast, and Jones went up to block him from passing. And that was not to Clint Boyer's liking at all. He checked up also rather than take him out, a decision which he made very clear in the post-race that he regretted, that he should have just wrecked Eric Jones and gone on. There was even some words exchanged there about racing philosophy on pit road right before Jones ever even got out of the car. Clint Boyer was there. Not a big fan of the post-race talk. You were on the track. If that's what you wanted to do, then do it. So either way, Clint Boyer checks up and says he won't do that again. Finishes fifth. This was the third win for Brad Keselowski. Kyle Busch was running quite well and had a pit lane violation. Apparently, you can only go through so many pit stalls getting into yours because you to swoop in, and he just got his tires into one pit stall too many, which made him start back to 40th at one point, worked his way back up to a top 15 finish, but Kyle was none too happy, but he was flying at that point. An aggravated Kyle Busch would not check up on anybody, that's for sure. So exciting last night in Kansas. The Gander Outdoor Truck Series NASCAR race was Friday night. Ross Chastain with the win, Ben Rhodes second, and Todd Gilliland third. After the race on last night, Saturday night, Brad Keselowski, one of the first things he mentioned in his post-race interview out on the track was that he was dedicating his win to his late friend Mike Mittler. Mittler was a 67-year-old former Truck Series owner from St. Peters, Missouri. His title was President of Mittler Brothers Machine and Tool. Apparently very, very influential behind the scenes with the race community. Some of the drivers that he had helped guide into success were Brad Keselowski, Carl Edwards, Jamie McMurray, Regan Smith. What I saw was that there were nearly 50 NASCAR drivers who Mike Mittler had helped get to that point and realize their dreams. So quite a loved man, will be sorely missed. 67 years old, Mike Mittler passed away on Friday. He will be missed. Also a loss felt across the no prep drag race community. Derek Purvey from Baltimore, Maryland. His official title was co-owner of Centurion Protection and Investigations, as well as co-owner of Gamers Game Room. But what everybody knew him as was a giant, gentle, polite teddy bear of a man who was charismatic, soft-spoken, just a really nice gentleman. We met him a few years ago at PRI. He worked mostly how I met him as he was the manager, PR, security for No Prep street outlaw racer Bobby Ducote from the South. Derek was involved with several of the drivers. However, just a really, really nice fellow. I was happy to be able to, when I'd see him at PRI, always be able to exchange pleasantries and hellos. He'll be sorely missed. It was interesting to note that looking back on his Facebook page, that's something it's something that we can do now that we couldn't used to. You can look back and see what was last posted, and at least Thursday night, Derek was posting videos of his son's Mustang and then of a drag car that him and his friends were working on. That was up until 10 o'clock Thursday night. So his last night was spent doing what he really loved doing, and that was working on his cars there in the garage. Even noticed that going back to his 1 year ago on his birthday, Derek said, "Today is a very humbling day. I turned 51, which means I'm 1 year past the halfway point. When you get to this age, you start to think about a lot of things and appreciate a lot of things too, like great family and friends. So first of all, I'd like to thank my wife, my sons, my dad, who started me in this mess called racing, which will be in my blood to the day I die. My sister and all the rest of my great family and all my friends who have wished me a happy birthday on Facebook. And God bless you all. I'm deeply humbled and grateful." That was on his birthday, July 23rd, 2018. Derek noting that he was just past the halfway point. Unfortunately, he wasn't. He would have been 52 on this July 23rd. Just a reminder of how precious life is, and never take anything for granted. Mike Mittler and Derek Purvey will both left a lasting impression on all the people that knew them, and their legends will go on. Here's a look at the All Parts Auto Salvage race week ahead, brought to you by All Parts Auto Salvage with two locations, 2600 North Benton and 425 East Kearney. To better serve you, let All Parts Auto Salvage help you fix your car. That's going to do it for this week for ORPtv. Again, I hope all you moms have a great Mother's Day, and give her a big hug for us. Tell her thanks. And we will see you back here next week for ORPtv. I'm Steg.